pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone. Before the start of tonight's meeting, we had an interview with a prospective member to our Environmental Advisory Council, and we will address that in short order. First thing we have on the agenda, we moved this presentation from the regular meeting notes to a presentation, and that is the land development for Stone Barn Manor at 360 Old Dublin Pike. Mr. Murphy, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
The board will recall that we appeared this spring in front of you earlier to obtain preliminary approval. Since then, we've submitted the final plans. Last month, met with your planning commission, received a recommendation of approval for the finals, and we're here tonight seeking the same thing. Mr. Garten has shared with me, like he typically does, the outline of conditions that, if the board was of a mind, we would accept, and we would accept those conditions as outlined by Mr. Garten earlier.
Nate, do you care
Sure.
to illuminate?
Yes.
Or, excuse me,
Yeah, absolutely.
Elucidate those.
So the conditions that Mr. Murphy was referring to would be, number one, compliance with the conditions imposed as part of the conditional use approval, which occurred on April 1st, 2014, including compliance with the zoning hearing board decision rendered on August 5th, 2013. Number two, compliance with the conditions of preliminary plan approval, which was granted on April 4, 2014. Number three, compliance with the Pannoni report dated May 14, 2014. Number four, compliance with the Boucher and James, Inc. report dated May 12, 2014. Number five, compliance with Pickering Courts and Summer report dated April 28, 2014. Number six, compliance with the Bucks County Planning Commission report dated April 28, 2014. Number seven, compliance with the Michael Baker Jr. Inc. report dated April 22, 2014. Number 8, applicant to pay a fee in lieu of recreation in accordance with the township ordinance, which shall be paid when a building permit is requested. Number 9, applicant is to make an off-site contribution of $1,000 for each of the 8 new dwelling units to be paid at the time of funding and execution of the development and financial security agreements. Number 10, receipt of all permits and approvals from any agencies having jurisdiction over such matters, including but not limited to the Bucks County Conservation District, PennDOT, and any other agency they're required. Number 11, the funding and execution of development and financial security agreements. Are those conditions agreeable, Mr. Murphy?
They are.
Has the board had the opportunity to review the Planning Commission notes and the recommendation of the Planning Commission on this final approval?
Yes, and I'll make a motion, and then I've got a question.
Okay, thank you.
Make a motion to approve final plan.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay,
The only thing, Mr. Murphy, I think, as Tom mentioned, too, about the PennDOT, the sewer was going to be resolved before tonight. Did you get
The storm sewer issue?
So remember the issue with him
At the
did what,
inlet.
who shot John? And
Right, we're trying to get the PennDOT maintenance to do the clean-out work. We've submitted 3 highway occupancy permit applications. One is for the access to the driveway, that would include the drainage as well. That's under review at PennDOT. The other 2 are utility applications for water and sewer. We have received those. So that issue is tied up with our highway occupancy permit. We've asked PennDOT again to give us direction and get the maintenance crews out there and clean that out. Otherwise, we'll be doing that as for the contractor.
One way or the other, it's going to get done.
I was going to say, is your client going to do it if PennDOT is not?
Yes.
then I'm happy.
Is there a timeline on that? Is it before shovel to ground, or
We'll probably do it consistent, or same as we get started, we'll do it probably.
contemporaneously with the development?
Yeah. We'll make sure it gets done.
With silt and dirt management?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Anything else, sir?
No.
Anybody else? Any questions?
No. Good.
Any questions from anybody here? You good? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for the consideration.
Yes, absolutely. Any visitors or public comment tonight? Hearing or seeing none from the vast majority of folks in the room. Moving on to our announcements. Next meeting of the Doylestown Township Board of Supervisors will be Tuesday, July 15, 2014. Of course, we're closed on Friday, July 4th for Independence Day. Sounds of Summer Concert Series begins next Wednesday, June 25th, 7 p.m. at Chapman Park. The admission is free for Amy Black. Thereafter, Philly Party Band and Fireworks, Central Park on the 29th of June at 7:30 p.m. It's $5 per car, and the rain date, because of the fireworks, is July 6, 2014 at Central Park. Darlingside is at Chapman Park on the 9th of July at 7 p.m. Again, that is free admission. Shred event is at the Doylestown Township Building on the 28th of June, 9 a.m. to noon. You need a 3-box minimum. If you have any questions, call the Township Administrative Offices at 348-9915. Leaf and yard waste recycling is Township residents only. The drop-off site is open the third Saturday of the month, March through December, from 9 to 11 at the New Britain access to Central Park. Discount park and movie tickets are available at our front office. I was in the grocery store line the other day, and I heard this lady with her family all excited about the tickets. She just got to the township, and she was headed to Thorney Park or something. She was very excited. Oh, and they were so cheap compared to what you get. She was on and on about it. I just stood there listening in line. Minutes approval for June 3rd, 2014. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion to approve June 3rd minutes.
Okay, I only saw one correction, and that is, while my husband likes my family, sometimes he was not doing a shout-out. That was under correspondence as number 4. You have Mr. Lyons instead of me. That's okay. I'm sure he would love to get credit for something like that, but he
Right.
doesn't
We also
get it.
noticed in the ordinance there was a time change that needs to be made as well.
Okay.
In the minutes. It says 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. I think it's supposed to be 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. because it's when it's allowed, not when it's not allowed,
Thank you.
if that makes sense.
Any other changes, corrections to the minutes? No. Was there a second? I'm sorry.
Second.
Yes, there was. There is now. All in favor of the minutes?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda, Jake brake signage and speed issues.
I just wanted to follow up. The board received a letter from Senator McElhenney. We've now come full circle, and that was a letter that Buckingham indicated they would send to the resident who had complained. We have received that, and the board has that for information at this time.
Yeah, what are we supposed to do with this?
I think it's pretty clear Buckingham, the complainant came from Buckingham, and they are not going to take any, although sympathetic, they're not in favor of restrictions based for the necessity of the safety device for trucks, and so they're not going to take any action and request any studies or anything. And, of course, Edison Furlong Road is a state road.
Okay.
So,
All right, that's just for information then, so we don't need to move on it?
yeah, there's no reason for us to move on it.
Okay, anything else?
Not regarding that matter.
Reports, do you have anything else as a report? Manager report.
We're not there yet, but if you want me to, I can jump out of order.
That's all right.
Okay.
Solicitor, you got anything?
No report. I think we'll talk about liquid fuels later on. We can talk about that now, or did you want to do that?
No, let's wait.
later?
Let's
Okay.
wait till
No problem.
we get to it on the agenda. This
Other
is
than that-
this Nate Fox, by the way, is
Hello, all.
substituting for Jeff Garten.
Mr. Garten.
Have you met this gentleman here?
Yes, just met.
Sorry. Chief,
I have nothing to report.
Mario?
Nothing at this time.
Now manager.
I just want to let the board know, Baker Engineers is going to be working with PennDOT. Some of the board members might recall that probably about 2010, 2011, we did some work on 611. Baker was doing some initial studies for traffic congestion movement, things like that, land uses, and we had a meeting here at that time. They are now going into like a phase 2 kind of study. They're going to be kicking it off probably this summer, and it's actually goes all the way from Cheltenham Avenue with the border with the city of Philadelphia all the way up to Edison Furlong Road. So they'll be coming out, probably be an opportunity for the board, members of the traffic planning staff to meet with them, and I will let you know when that takes place. And that's all I had at this time.
For those of us who lived in Northeast Lake, Cheltenham. You know what I'm saying? Cheltenham.
I'm from the Midwest. I apologize.
Supervisors, Sean, do you have anything?
Just two comments regarding our last bike and hike meeting. Actually, this morning, we're getting ready to break ground this summer on two very exciting legs of our system, both the Peace Valley Trail and then the Chamonix Greenway. In addition, something we talked about this morning, I don't know if Tom wants to comment. I know you're not here to comment on this particular, but the marker plan, or that program, the idea for safety markers and such, mile markers we talked about, I can elaborate more on that now. Much like when you go on the turnpike and you see a mile marker, they're looking at adding markers on the trails for identification purposes, pretty discreet, but enough that you can recognize them anywhere on the trail to say, hey, I have some trouble, I'm on...
For safety.
For safety.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, for safety. I'm on mile 21-1, and that way, coordinating with our committee and like the dispatch and that, they would be able to know means of egress and such, and how you can get in there, whether it's a motor vehicle or an officer on foot or whatever. But it certainly sounded like maybe overdue, but also certainly a great addition to the system.
Yeah.
So
I got to believe there's some law enforcement funding for that.
Well, it's not that expensive.
yeah, certainly for the cost, certainly for the benefit. Yeah.
Chief, got any money in your pocket? He didn't get it.
We met with the county on it.
Okay.
Emergency management, and they were excited about it.
Yeah, it makes sense.
They offered some great ideas to us. And then Steve White this morning volunteered
Did he?
to help in providing some of the information they needed. And markers themselves, I think we can do it for $50 a marker or something like that. So it's not a real expensive project. And it's mainly for things like the Chamonix Greenway, where you're back away from roads. And getting access to it is
Thank you.
difficult and uncertain. So I think it's a nice
Certainly for the cost, it's certainly worth the benefits, or added benefits. So, yeah, that's all I've got today. I just wanted to comment on that.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Tom.
Ken, do you have anything you want to talk about?
Well, as you had mentioned, we had talked to Mr. Cameron prior to the meeting, and so I would like to make a motion that we appoint him to the EAC.
Okay, is there a second to that?
I'll second that.
All right, any discussion? Nice, lively addition to the
Yes,
EAC.
it'll be a very good addition.
Calling the question, all in favor?
Aye. Two other comments about EAC. One is just to let people know they started planting today up at their native garden, so that was a big event for them. They have a bunch of things going on. And the second item is if you remember from our last supervisors meeting, we talk about the signs and the kiosks that we wanted to do. And at the last EAC meeting, we did decide that we needed 2 of those kiosks. So at the last supervisor meeting, we mentioned there'd probably be about $1,000 each. So I would like to make a motion that we approve that to get those kiosks developed for the Harts Woods entrance.
So it's a $2,000 item?
I think it's going to be a bit more than that, because we're going to need $300 for each frame, and Judy's estimate, and it'll depend on the size, that they could be at least $1,000 to maybe $400, $1,400 each.
Okay.
And then, of course, we have money budgeted for Judy's time. Her staff will put together the drawing and the information.
Is there funding for the kiosks?
Not specifically, but
Is this something we should look at in 15, or can we eke it out this year?
I think we can probably eke it out for, a few $1,000.
I would like to see us do it this year.
Yeah, I think we can get it going.
If we're going to be putting up the signs to restrict
we
and
can-
control it, then we need to educate the public as to why we're doing this. So.
All right.
And we can move on that.
There's a motion, is there a second?
I'll second it. If I understand it, we're talking probably about $5,000 or less.
I think we can
Probably
probably...
3,000 or less, right?
Yeah,
For 2?
For 2, I think I'd prefer to go on the higher side, play it safe for right now,
Well, let's
3 to
split-
5,
Okay.
and we'll work
3 to
our
5 is
magic
full.
to make it less.
I mean, I support it, I just wanted to make sure we all had a good feel for what the amount is.
Yeah.
We've got off-site improvement money, et cetera, that we can certainly apply to that. I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood it was probably, it'll be less than 5, but
Right.
more than 4, probably.
Or
So I
up
do
to
second it.
$5,000, is that a fair,
Up to 5,000, sir.
you accept that?
Yep, that's fine.
There's a motion and a second to approve up to $5,000 spending on the kiosks for the nature preserve, whatever it is.
Yep.
What do you want to call it? Nature preserve? Hartswood.
Woods, yep, thank you.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Thank you. You had a second on that, yes?
I do, yeah.
Anything else?
No, that was it.
Rick, you have anything?
None of my committees or boards met, so
Oh, no.
I have a dearth of knowledge tonight, sorry.
Okay. I spoke via text to Ryan. She intends to be back in the mix next week, so hopefully she'll be at our next meeting.
Great.
She's a little Travis is doing well. She's doing well. And then we've been moving the open space purchase to conclusion. It's going to be that's the Devolution's open space purchase. It's on the agenda for the commissioners tomorrow. So that if settlement takes place between now, it should, the goal is to have it take place between now and the end of June. I would like to have the board authorize that if the chair has to sign any of the settlement documents, that Rick Colello be authorized to do so. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right. Is there a motion to that effect? I'll make the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Does everyone agree?
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. I will be out of country.
Okay, I didn't know, that's why I had
That's why you were
that
doing
dumb
it.
look on my face.
Out of country.
Yes. Or quizzical look.
Yes, so, and I think that's all I have. Moving on, new business, the 2014 Bucks County Hazardous Mitigation Plan Update Resolution. We do this every few years.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the year to do it.
Yes, it is.
You've received the materials, or is there any question? It authorizes one of us to participate in the in the update, and I take that's you?
Myself and our emergency management coordinator.
Okay. There is a resolution to that effect. May I have a motion to approve the resolution for participation in the plan update?
Move to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of the resolution?
Aye.
Excellent. Now, the traffic signal applications, you see them all under subsection B of new business. There are 6 of them. The adaptive traffic signal system.
Right, and that, just a reminder, that is the $300,000 that we received from PennDOT as a ARLE grant, as they are known as, and this as the step. I know you've started to see these T160s quite a bit, and it's just a form that PennDOT is requiring for any time we make changes to traffic signals these days.
Now,
so
we're not-
this will allow us to do that.
I beg your pardon. We're not passing on the permits, but we have to adopt or approve the resolutions for each.
Right.
Is that
You have
correct?
to, the permit, the signals already have permits. We're amending these permits to include the adaptive control, and these TE160s need to be included with the applications and everything.
So each of the 6 has a resolution. So can we do
Yes.
them all in tandem?
I would think so.
We'll entertain a motion to approve all 6 of the applications, resolutions for all 6 of the applications. Is there such a motion?
So moved.
Thank you.
Second.
All right. Is everyone okay doing it this way?
Yes.
Rather than one at a
Yes.
time?
Yeah.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so that's that. And then a multimodal transportation fund grant, Lower State Road, and the trail connection. There's a resolution to that effect.
Stephanie, can you update us on the progress of that?
The progress,
Of which? The one we just passed on?
Dave Tomko from Pannonia, their fees are also covered as part of the ARLE grant. They are done the updated designs, and then this is what goes to PennDOT, and then PennDOT will review, and Patel should be approving it, and then Armour will be making those upgraded in the near future, I would think. I'm thinking probably late summer, because they've already completed most of the upgrades on the LEDs. That was the $90,000 of the $390 that we got. So the LEDs pretty much have been taken care of. In fact, I got a call on one of the intersections, a compliment that it went to LED light. So it's all moving along this year.
Okay.
And Vice Chairman of the Bike Hike Committee, Tom Kelso's here.
You want to speak on the multimodal transportation grant funding?
Just briefly, just
Thank
to
you.
introduce you to it, if that's all right.
No, we appreciate it.
And this is a grant application through the Department of Community and Economic Development through a multimodal transportation fund. And I think it's a 70-30 match, 70% from them and 30% from the township. And it's to extend the trail that's been a priority for a number of years. Walt Berry talked about it at length. It's something that he championed early on. We just have never been able to quite pull it together. And that's extending the trail. Basically now, it's at the end of Wells Road. It connects onto the Parkway and goes through the college directly into Doylestown Borough to connect the Y through the college and Teversall and crossing SEPTA.
Now, how are you doing that? How are you crossing SEPTA?
Well, we've met with SEPTA. We have a steering committee we set up. Stephanie set it up with the property owners, the people that are interested in it, all the way from, I think we had the hospital there even.
The high school.
The high school,
The Y.
Teversall, the Y, the Martins, the Ball property. And we met with them once, and everybody was interested in it. And I think everybody wants it to happen. SEPTA was at the meeting. They've been one of our biggest supporters, I think, in terms of the trails. They've been extremely helpful. We've looked at a couple of different options with them, and one is to replace the old underpass on New Britain Road, the narrow one. They'd like to do that, I think, but it doesn't fit with their program right now, and they just made some improvements to it. So at this time, we're looking at having a gated crossing, similar to what Chalfont just did at the end of Bristol Road.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if you've noticed that's going on.
but
And the
it
college
makes sense.
has one right now at the train station, the train stop in the college. And it's just a safety improvement. I think there was just an accident or a pedestrian slipped on the rails.
And we do have signs there that say to dismount, but most of the riders will ride it anyway. And it's tricky. I mean, it's not necessarily the easiest crossing to make there.
Right. And this will get the crossing more at a right angle, so it's safer and have a safer material at the crossing.
And the train can go over that?
Yeah, it's the same. If you want to see one that's well done, is the one at the college, I think, is very well done.
Yeah.
When they put the parking and everything on this side of the tracks, I think it went in at that time. So
I remember when we first started talking about this, we were thinking about putting like a walkway over the tracks.
Well,
to the side of the, wasn't that one of the options, to take
that's a
the
little
trail
tough
and-
with the electrified rail.
Tunneling under with
going right over top,
Right.
building like a bridge over top of the tracks off on the side of the road. So that would.
Yeah, it's the tough part of it, and that's why the cost is what it is, too, is dealing with that. But SEPTA generally has been doing the design on that and helping us with it. So we're enthusiastic about it happening. And it's an $817,000 project with DCED. We're asking DCED for $572,000, and the township picking up the rest of it and match, cash, whatever.
Yeah.
So
You think it's likely? I mean, you think it's a...
I think it really is.
Good.
I think we've got some encouragement back from them already.
It's one of those multiple government entities, projects that they love to fund.
And I think what we're seeing, too, is the reason to do it now is with the 202 Parkway Trail. We're seeing a lot more activity between the borough and the Parkway Trail, and from people in the community and people from outside the community. It's just a great way to get into the borough.
Yeah.
And right now, the route is still a great way to go in, but it's a little more circuitous.
Yeah.
So
Sounds
I think
good.
now's the time to do it.
Okay. All right, there's a...
Just a question on that. Is that a multi-year project? I mean, that's
No.
that's a nice
Well, I
chunk of
think-
change, so...
It would become a multi-year
It
project.
would become a multi-year project.
If we got the funding.
I did say we have SEPTA involved in it, and as supportive as they've been, it still takes time to get through all this.
Yeah. No, I was mainly focused on what our 30%
Yeah.
is. You know, that's still a sizable amount.
It is.
So,
And we really have, I mean, this includes design, acquiring easements,
right.
and we all know how long that
Right.
takes.
Okay.
I mean, we've had discussions on easements, we've had some interest there, but it'll end up being...
Yeah, so year 2015, we can start budgeting, perhaps eking some money out and setting it aside.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, when would we expect to hear back from them?
I
This
would hope
summer,
late
next
summer, early fall, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay.
So until...
Right around budget time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it is just a grant application, I mean,
yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You know, you do a great, we so appreciate all the time and expertise you put into this. Yeah, you've been doing it for many, 20-some years or something. So thank you. Well, we're glad you do because, you know, you've created a real gem in this community with your efforts.
A community effort. And our meeting this morning, I think Sean and Rick can attest to that. We had a great meeting with a lot of attendance this morning
Good.
from other communities.
Excellent. Yeah. That's great.
Big part of it.
All right, with that, we'll entertain a motion to approve
I
the
would
resolution.
be happy to make that motion.
All right. Now, the motion is to apply for the
Fund grant.
multimodal transportation fund grant of $572,031. Is there a second?
I have one question.
Sure.
Just with the approval for the request, are we saying right now we're allocating the additional funds if we get the grant? We're not saying that.
No, we're applying for the
We're
grant.
just the application at this time.
applying.
Okay.
Yeah, the money
I
isn't
just
going to
wanted-
come to us unless we have
No, I
the match.
appreciate that. I just
Yeah.
make sure it didn't, okay.
Yeah, we're not
Thank you.
obligated.
No further questions. Thanks.
It's
We're
a
not
very-
raising your taxes today.
a very critical step. It's a connecting spot. It's a dangerous, we talked about all the times, people walking, riding, and that it's, I mean, this is a need, not just a wish or a want. This is a need. So,
Okay, there's a motion and a second. All in favor?
aye.
All right, thank you. Did we get everything there? Was there another one? Oh, municipal records retention and disposition resolution. You know, periodically, we get rid of stuff. So the manager has presented this list of materials and records and reports and so on that are to be disposed of or put somewhere else, right?
And disposed of, they will be
Disposed of.
destroyed.
There's a motion to approve the resolution disposing of the municipal records listed in these documents.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, I had reviewed this with Stephanie quite a bit today, because I just wanted to understand the process behind it.
Okay.
And I just wanted to make sure that what we're doing, if we have a procedure to follow, how do we know how good we are at adhering to that procedure? You know, if records are to be kept for 5 years, how do we know we don't have 6, 7, 8 years in the back room somewhere? So while I agree with this disposal, I just want to make sure that we're auditing and adhering to the practice that we have in place, and we just want to make sure we're on top of it.
Yeah, well, from prior experience, I can tell you that the staff is always calling for removal of materials because we just don't have the space to keep storing things that are relevant any longer. So I know that you're pretty much on top of it all the time.
Yeah, I mean, for a long, long time, you know, it was sort of like, try to keep everything, because you never know when you're going to want to, you know, and I'm sure...
I have closets like that.
Yeah, you know, we all kind of deal with that at home, and then all of a sudden you realize, no, it really is okay to start doing this and you know, preserving stuff that you're required to and following that format. And since we've started to do these resolutions, we've been, you know, pretty proactive in making sure that the department heads know what needs to be disposed of, and Jackie, who's our right-to-know officer, is very familiar with the requirements under the disposal for PHMC, the requirements for this, and, we're doing the best to make sure that we're, disposing of properly and at the right time.
Okay.
Are we doing the same with electronic records?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Because that's always a big problem for
All right. The question was, are we doing the same with electronic records? And that's a good question, and the answer is yes. All right. Was there a second to the motion? Motion and a second? Was there? Yes, yeah, we had a second. Any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the memo from Mr. John, and this is where Nate's going to jump in on the road program and the liquid fuels, state liquid fuels allocation and apportionment. Dick, do you want to speak to it, or Nate?
Either way.
I think there's two things happening tonight. One, we've had a bid for road work through Mario's office. He prepared the bid. Has come in at a very good price. We had 4 responsible bidders, so we're going to deal with that tonight. But first, I think we should deal with a resolution regarding $200,000 the board approved to be used from state liquid fuels accounts. Because it was not in the budget, we need to create an account line, and I believe Nate has that information on the resolution.
Correct.
We should adopt that.
If
We don't have the resolution.
I have the, if you like, I
We
can
do not
just-
have a copy of it.
Would you like me to just read the resolution or just give a brief summary?
Yes, this is a summary, but...
Okay. So, as Mr. John had mentioned, this is just adding an additional line. It's going to be identified as account number 35-439-610 in the amount of $200,000, which will be identified as funds received from the State Liquid Fuels Fund from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania to be used in the 2014 road project. If the board is inclined to pass this resolution, we're agreeing that the requirements and obligations of the PennDOT grants online reporting system in order to file the required liquid fuels forms annually, including but not limited to MS-965, 329, and 999 forms, and you're agreeing to comply with any and all PennDOT requirements, which presumably has been going on every year that you do this. You're also authorizing or identifying Township Manager Stephanie Mason and Director of Operation Richard Johns to execute and provide all information necessary for the completion of any application. Any questions on the resolution?
You got his name wrong. It's Richard John.
Richard John. I apologize.
That's okay. I think, do you mind making a copy so we can all take a real quick look at it? Copies. Thank you, Chief. I don't know. I would feel more comfortable with it. No offense, but...
That's fine.
Yeah. So basically, what we already voted, but we don't have a line item for it.
Right.
To move the money from the fund to using the money. So we have to create a line item, but I just want to make sure
But what I interpret, it's actually more than that. You also have to apply to be able to use the funds for road construction.
That's correct. The project has to be approved by PennDOT.
It has to be approved by PennDOT.
Mario, do you want to
So worst case is, they could not approve it.
They may not approve it, but we can move the money back. We're moving it to a user position.
No,
Yeah,
I understand
we don't
that,
use it, we can put it back
but he's still,
where-
then he's out $200,000.
No, he's not.
No.
No, he's not.
And
We have the money.
highly, highly unlikely that PennDOT would not approve this project.
Okay.
This is a standard
Practice.
Which is
practice,
shifting.
yes.
Yes, that's fine. That's fine.
And you're documenting that.
And we're documenting the
Creating a
shifts
record that
and
this happened.
authorizing the use.
Yes, yeah.
And then authorizing the contractor, basically.
Right.
Resolution does shifting the money, authorizing the use, and then the second motion will be to authorize the contractor.
Basically, what happens is after the contract is approved and signed by all parties, then you apply to PennDOT. Now, don't ask me why you would do that after everything is signed,
Yeah.
but that is PennDOT's current practice.
So getting approval from PennDOT doesn't stop the work.
No, if you want to pay for it all yourself. But you still have, the money's still there.
Right.
It's just which pocket you're taking it out of,
Yeah.
basically. Correct.
Thanks, Chief.
I think one of the things that's going on here is PennDOT wants to be absolutely sure that those state liquid fuels are being used for road work.
Right.
So they do not approve anything until you have dotted all your i's and crossed all your t's.
Great.
Thank you. You can take one of these. I got one. I think you can get one.
Good?
I'm good.
I guess he went to Catholic school, he takes longer to read.
I did, and
Kidding.
I'm okay.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve the resolution creating a line item of $200,000 of state liquid fuels to be used by the township in the road repairs in 2014?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. It's 4-0. And then the bid, the bid went out, and who are you recommending? General Asphalt? No.
Yes.
Yes, General Asphalt. Is there a motion to approve General Asphalt as the contractor on the project?
Move to approve.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions? All in-
Yes.
If I could just stipulate,
Yes, stipulating.
you are approving the base bid by General Asphalt in an amount of approximately $324,257.08, but I also am asking you to approve an additional $50,000 just in case we need to do base repairs and other things that were not in the bid contract. It's an unknown, and that's why I split it out. We may not need it, but I do need the authorization to spend it if we do need it.
Okay, so right now, we're going to vote on the first and second on the General Asphalt bid, okay? Can we do it that way? And then we'll deal with the next one separately,
Okay?
okay? Is there a motion to approve the General Asphalt bid at $324,257.08?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Now, Mr. John has asked for an additional, if needed, $50,000 for potential base repairs, or a motion to approve? You want to know if there's funding set aside for that, right, Mr. Snyder?
And there is money in the reserve, and you would be spending this under the capital reserve account, which I did put the number in the packet. It's a regular road account. There wasn't another $50,000 left over in the original budgeted funding, which was around $520,000. So you're adding $50,000 to that. It's the same account, but the money was in reserve, was not in the actual expense account.
We had, in the original budget, it was 320 for roads, right? And we added 200 from the state liquid fuels.
Now, your original budget was over $500,000 for road work.
But that included...
Included all kinds of things, bridges.
Right, I mean, but you had it broken out for roads was 320.
Right,
And then we approved another 200,
that's correct.
so that's 520. So you're asking for another 50 on top.
That's correct.
Do we have to approve it tonight?
Well,
I mean, what's
the answer
the
to that-
urgency to approving it right now?
Because when the contractor, General Asphalt, comes in and begins work, as they mill and they identify areas that need repair, they're going to want to do that right away without question, or we're going to get...
It's going to be a stop work.
Yeah,
It'll be a
additional
stop workage.
cost.
But, I mean, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 roads on here. You're not going to work on all 9 at the same time. So you'll know before you get to when you're going to need the 50.
Why wouldn't we approve it tonight? What is your reservation?
We approved 200. I just want to make sure that we need another 50.
Well, he's not going to spend it if he doesn't need it. It's just available should he need it. You're not going to spend it if we don't need it.
That's correct.
Yeah. He has to still justify with the purchase prices and purchase orders everything that's spent, so it's not like he is going to take $50,000 and spend it unless he has to.
When we bid for the additional road work, which the board agreed they wanted to do, and Mario's firm prepared to bid, we felt there was such an unknown there that we could not put a price on it in terms of what that unknown might be. So we bid the project for what we do know. We were going to mill, and we were going to overlay. We knew that by measurement.
Right.
What we don't know is if there's some unknown base repairs that we didn't see that are going to need to be adjusted or corrected while the contractor's working on the road. He's going to want to lay blacktop. He's going to mill, and he calls Mario or myself and says, "We've got a serious problem over here. I need to fix it before I can lay my blacktop." If we stop him from doing that while we decide whether we want to spend the money or not, there's definitely going to be another charge for a stop work. So all I'm asking is to put the money up front. If we need it, we'll spend it. If we don't, we won't. It's not going anyplace. I still have money left in the regular account for the bridge work, the drainage repairs, other base repairs, and guide rails. That money's all accounted for in the original budget. So I have nothing left to work with if you don't allow me to add the extra $50,000. So, you want to take the chance?
I don't. I don't think that's prudent, frankly. I think we shouldn't hamstring the director of operation. I don't think so, anyway. Well, what's the state of the motion? There's no motion.
There's no motion yet.
We'll entertain a motion to approve the additional $50,000 if needed for the road reconstruction and repairs.
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Now, is there any further discussion?
No, I just would like to reiterate, I mean, we're going to do it no matter what. It's just, it's foolhardy to not do this when they dig the road up. So it's something that's going to happen. I mean, that may not happen, but if it becomes obvious that something needs to be done, we're going to have to do it.
Mr. John indicated it would likely cost more than
Yeah, stop works are really expensive.
procedure, right? If we don't authorize it today.
I mean, and Mary, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but the only other option I would have is to eliminate one of the roads that were on their list.
That's exactly right.
Now, I don't know whether he would be consider that breach of contract or not.
Well, I guess we'd have to discuss that depending on how much we would, if you take out a third of the contract, I'm not sure then.
Then we spend $50,000 litigating it. I would rather just get these roads done. I mean, that's the way I'm looking at it. It's just get it done and give the man what he needs to do it.
Now, Dick, some of the base work has already been completed.
Yes.
Like on Wells and Turkey, those have been done. So that's
why I've asked for such a low number.
right.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if that's enough.
Well,
Sorry.
I don't know how to answer that, except I feel comfortable with the 50,000.
Okay.
So
Would you be doing the work, or that would be an add-on for the contractor?
it's an add-on for the contractor. It's in his contract to take care of that
Okay.
issue.
All right. All right, there's a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. That's 4-0. Thank you. All right. Land Development, Casabello wants a review. Is there a motion to approve the review? Their plan expires on the 23rd. New expiration
Extension.
August 30. Excuse me. Yeah, extension. Thank you. Is there a motion to approve? Is this our first one?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I make a motion, we accept their request to extend their
Thank you.
planning date.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Treasurer's report for June 17th. It was received electronically. Is there a motion to approve the treasurer's report?
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And the bills list for June 17th, 2014, also received electronically. Is there a motion to approve?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, back to announcements. Our next meeting is Tuesday, July 15th. We're closed on July 4th. Sounds of Summer begins next week at Chapman Park. It's free, and it's Amy Black at 7 o'clock. Philly Band, it's $5 at Central Park on the 29th at 7:30 because of the fireworks, and the rain date is July 6th. Also at 7:30 p.m. at Central Park. Darlingside at Chapman Park on the 9th of July at 7 p.m. That's free. Shred event, Township Building, 628, that's June 28th at 9 a.m. to noon. $3 minimum. And any questions, call the office. Leaf and yard waste recycling, township residents only. Drop-off site is the third Saturday of the month between March and December, 9 to 11, at New Britain Road, entrance to Central Park. And Discount Park movie tickets are available in the township front office. Any other business? Hearing none. We are adjourned. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.
Documents to be signed.
Documents to be signed.